Hey there, welcome to NZ Money Karma, where you can find freedom from the daily grind through budgeting, simple living, and adventure. Well, while the world has quite literally gone mad, I decided to unplug completely for the week. Well, I decided not to use a computer or check YouTube or read online news. What I didn't plan on was my dumb phone stopping working. The network has been shutting down for ages, or so the messages have been telling me, but now the 3G network has actually gone, and I discovered it this week while I was away. I can't lie, this was a bit of a pain having absolutely no communication, not being able to call my husband, but I got through and it was actually a whole heap of fun. And mentally, I feel so much better. I feel really energized. I've gained back what I feel like is my life again. So it really was a week of being unplugged, and here's what I got up to. So I started at our batch. We had some work to do. I had to sand down some of the skirting boards, those very shiny architraves I've done, but you'll see some other bits. I needed to sand stuff down, and I had the intention that I would be coming back midweek to finish painting. Due to unforeseen circumstances, I actually didn't get there. So my husband was here with me. We peeled off old bits of paint and kind of prepped it so that when we come back again, we can paint. And yeah, we got there. So that was exciting. It's all ready to go next time we're there. I also took these door sausages with me. Now, I want to say a big thanks to Mel, who actually gave me this idea when I did a look through a cupboard and there was all this old fabric. She was like, why don't you use that fabric and quilt it? And I had already made all these quilted squares. I just didn't have anything to do with them. So I got them all together. I sewed them up into a long sausage kind of shape and then a bit of backing material, which I did have in the cupboard. I emptied out my, what would you call it, kind of like my rubbish stash of fabric. So like anything that was too small to be used, or like an old t-shirt that's stained and ripped, something like that, and used it to stuff these door sausages. So I'm really, really happy with how they turned out. It's been quite a fun little project, and I absolutely love the way they look. So this is the culmination really of a couple of years' work, because every time I had leftover fabric in a particular colour, I would sew it up, every now and then into these little squares of a particular colour. That could be from making bunting or mostly, to be fair, it is from actually making bunting. That's what I've used that fabric for most of all. So I stuffed that while I was away, and then I didn't have access to a sewing machine, so I just hand sewed it up. I made 3 in total, and I just absolutely love the look of them. I don't know what you guys think if you were door sausage people, but our wee batch, we've never had a winter there. This will be our first winter. And it's in a part of the country that's quite nice and sunny in summer, but I think pretty cold in winter. So the insulation is average, I guess, if I'm being kind about it. It is insulated, but not greatly. It's not double glazed. I fixed all the broken windows, so that's an improvement. And now I've got door sausages to help keep out the drafts. There you go. I'm super, super chuffed with that. Really liking the look of it. And even my husband walked in and went, oh, they look pretty good. So from our batch, we were off out doing a bit of camping. So I was camping at a place called Lake Ruataniwha in the South Island, that's in Twizel, and I was there to watch some rowing. So I spent the entire week in this little bubble, which it really was a bubble. It was funny driving back to Ototahi and kind of looking around and being like, oh yeah, everyone else's life has gone on this week except for ours, because we have been very much in this kind of little rowing bubble. So in my tent, I spent heaps of time just reading my book. I think I've talked about this book, Escaping Capitalism, in another video. It is really, really good, and I want to just read a little excerpt from it for you. I think the problem that we've had is that people have decided they really didn't want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has a massive issue on productivity. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is the whole global, the world is trying to do. Governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get to some sort of normality, and we're seeing it. We're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market. And that was from a guy called Tim Gurner, who's an Australian billionaire at a big Australian Financial Review Summit. And that is what people are thinking. And I've just found this book really illuminating, and it's opened my eyes to a lot of things, a lot of reasons the world is the way it is. And I'm not liking it. I can tell you that when I read that, and as the book goes through, I'd really recommend it. It's just so many things that I think I've just thought was the way it was because that's just actually how it has to be. And reading this book, it just really makes me look at it and go, do you know what? It doesn't have to be like that at all. That someone else has decided that's the way it's going to be. And those someone else's are not the New Zealand worker, whatever worker you are. It really is those ultra rich people. They do just want to keep us busy enough on our hamster wheels so we have no time to really think about why someone has, so much more than another. Like, yes, some people are brighter, work harder, all that kind of stuff. I can acknowledge that. So, yes, why shouldn't they have more than someone who doesn't have those attributes? Okay, there's an argument about that as well. But for this, is it actually right that people have, 7 billion times more than another person? And I guess the answer is no. That is just really unfair and not right. And that's what this book has highlighted for me. So whilst I had a beautiful week away and it was so exciting, the racing, I have been doing some thinking about the way the world works and how I contribute to that or how I participate in that also. After the excitement of all that racing, it was time to pack up and come home. It's an absolutely beautiful drive from Twizel to Ototahi. So even that was fun. But, you get home and there's always work to do. So my first job was to go and clean out the chicken coop. It was really dirty, but there were a heap of eggs. We have had someone come and collect eggs, I guess probably midweek. So they didn't get too crazy. But yeah, we've got a lot of eggs. So the next morning I wanted to give the chickens a treat, so I've cooked them up some polenta, which they absolutely love. You can see here they're right into it. And also, to be honest, I'm quite low on chicken food, and that will give me an extra day before I have to go out and buy it. And that's just a convenience thing for me rather than anything else. The money's in the envelopes. Which brings me to actually doing a bit of cash stuffing and getting the budget back on track. So that was the week that was. I've been doing tons and tons of washing, getting myself all caught up after a big week away. So I'm trying to get my budget back on track now, and I just want to do a really quick cash stuff. I'm going to do my very best to fill up the envelopes or start topping them up again, the ones that I've taken money out of, because Air New Zealand still hasn't given me my refund. I'm waiting for many thousands of dollars from Air New Zealand. They've accidentally taken it. There was a website malfunction when I booked some flights, and whilst they can take it in a second, it's now been 14 days and they still haven't given it back. So after I've done this, I need to get on the phone quick smart. My patience is wearing thin with that. So I have $800 today, and I have put nothing into my investment account this pay. Nothing at all. I've re-topped up some online accounts where I took money from, when we were left very, very short because of this malfunction. And I've topped all of them up except for the emergency one, which had $600 in it, and the bills account, which had a couple of thousand in it. So I'll have to work on that next pay round. The smaller ones I've done, and that's going to be the same with these. I'm going to focus on getting the smaller ones topped up and sorted, and then start working on the bigger ones. But it's going to be a couple of weeks before we get all our ducks in a row again. But such is life, right? We live a pretty lucky life, and I'm super happy with all the skills that I've developed over the years because I feel like they're really going to be needed again. I had this feeling when it was COVID, but in a more fun way. I hope that doesn't sound too morbid. This time round, this next world crisis, whatever, people call it, I have less of a fun feeling about, more a feeling of impending doom and dread. But, you know, we do what we can, don't we? So this week groceries is getting 150. We haven't really got anything in the freezer. We've got lots of dried goods. But yeah, not much in the freezer. I'll be looking to get some sauce tomatoes and get on to making some more relish and lots of tomato sauce. So that'll come out of there. If I've got any money left out of the groceries, because I'm also going to be trying to top up my cupboards, probably like the rest of you. I don't think, it's not like panic buying, but I think it just, you know, my whole life I've always just tried to be prepared for whatever might come my way. This is the garden, and I'm definitely doing plenty in the garden this year. Let me know if you'd like a whole video on what I'm doing to prepare my garden. And, you know, I am a bit more motivated because of potential for food shortages. Yeah, I can't say that I'm not motivated by that. I am, even though I want to be positive and, you know, happy and all the rest of it. I think I still am feeling like that. So I had 60 and I'm going to put in another 50. So there we go, 110. You can't eat money, can you? So you have to convert the money into food by getting your garden up and running. If you have no money to spare for a garden, honestly, beg, borrow, steal. Someone will always have extra seeds. Someone, you know, I've got a cupboard full of them. Because you get a packet of seeds, it might have 300 seeds. You might only grow 100 of those, 100 carrots, or whatever, lettuces. So ask around. If you want to get into gardening, gardeners are very generous and there will always be someone with something to share. So I have to top up this donations one. I took $100 out of there. That was my IOU to myself. So I need 100 plus $5 for this week. So I'll take a 10 and I'll take 100 out of here. Okay, so I think I'm back to being even Stevens with that. Family fun. They're doing some outdoor movie screenings here in Ototahi, and I really want to do that. It used to be just like a koha donation when you walked in the door. Now it's $25 for a family, and our family would like to go to a movie. So I'm going to take 20 and then 5. So 25. I will buy it online, but at least that's done. Work, travel. Oops. This has got something completely unrelated from Bunnings in it. So we took all the money out of here as well. That's what that receipt is for. That was something else for our batch. We've cleaned it out, and I need to put $100 back in this week to get back on track. Don't know if the cost of my husband's travel for work is going to go up or not, so that's a consideration as well. And the kids' pocket money, they're getting $20 each, but they actually owe me, well, they owe themselves money. They haven't been putting everything that they're meant to be putting into sharesies. So I got them before their last sports tournament to work out how much they owed, and one owes about 20 and one about 40. So I will not be giving them their full $20. I'll be keeping part of it, and that will be how they pay themselves back, because I don't want them stealing from their future selves. And petrol is getting absolutely nothing. Topped up, the tank is full, and we are committed to really not using that. We were a car-free family for many, many years. We know how to kind of make that work, and that's what we're going to do. So unless it's really, you know, like we've just spent the week in Twizel, for example, we're not going to bike to Twizel. We're not going to, but that's over now. So we can say, okay, our need, it was one of the reasons we got a car, was so our kids could participate in sports that were further afield. We don't need to do that over winter because the sports are, you know, for the most part quite local, definitely within a bike ride. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Very little petrol is going to be used in this house. That's our intention. I do have to go and pick up chicken food, and that's really heavy. So that's 20 kgs. I won't be able to carry that on my back. So I am looking for a bike trailer. And when I find a bike trailer, I will buy it. So it has to be under $100. That's my goal. And then I will be able to put things in the back of my trailer and bike. So that'll work really, really well. So transport, this here is for the most part for bus passes for my husband and I. The kids get their money and use their own money to top up their bus pass from their pocket money I give them. So that gives us $10 each on our bus pass. Health has been completely decimated. All the money's gone from there. And I'm going to top that up today with 190. Clothes and shoes. Oops. Don't need that. So what's there? 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, I will put in another 10 and that'll give me 50. Animals, our dog got sick, as you would have heard in my intro. So we've used a lot of money out of here because he had to go to the vet. So we've got $75. I do need to get some chicken food. I'm going to put in another 25. So that gives me 100. And then next week I'll look to top that up to 150 and then I'm kind of back to baseline. That also needs to increase because we'll need a dog groom, so that's another 90. And celebrations, we have a birthday coming up. Now the good thing with this is I got a $100 voucher for through work for my Christmas present. They used to give us a $100 grocery voucher. This year it was more like an open voucher that you could use anywhere that you can use a card. And I have used that $100 to go towards my daughter's birthday present. I'll have another probably $30 I need to spend as far as presents go, and then the rest is just for whatever she's going to be doing. You know, like if she wants to go to a movie with friends or something like that and we shout them, or they want to go and get something to eat. So for celebrations I've got 120 there, and I'm going to top that up with 80, so it's it's 200. So I'm just going to take some, if I've got enough 20s, oh I don't, 20, 40, 60, 80, oh that's not right, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So it should be $200 there, and that will be a nice birthday, I reckon. I'm pretty excited with her present. I think she's going to really like it. It wasn't the original thing that I was aiming for, but I just had to change my mind on what I was planning because we just didn't have the money for it. It was going to be, it was $500, and I didn't end up being able to sell that. I didn't end up being able to save that. So did it feel disappointing? Do you know what? It did actually. I felt a bit bummed to be making a decision based on money around kind of a want and then having to change it based on more of our needs. I put this one on back to front. That's annoying. Can I change that? No, I can't. Oh, well, I'm going to have to fix that up, aren't I? Emergencies, we cleared that out completely. So I'm going to start just by putting $10 in the emergencies. And when I get this refund from Air New Zealand, I will be coming back and doing a big cash stuff and getting it all sorted and all tidied out. And yeah, I'm less bothered by, I am still investing money each month, but I'm feeling much less bothered about doing that and much more about just making sure my own backyard is kind of taken care of. So here I've already put in $1.60, which I haven't been able to mark off, so I'll just mark off this dollar, and that just leaves us with the 60 cents. And then I've got $5 that I'm going to add. When this is done, I will be cash stuffing this extra as well. I really want to just get all my ducks in a row so I feel safe and secure again. So that's it. That's my budget. It's short and sweet because, yeah, when you have to make decisions, right? Like sensible adult decisions. I feel like that's what I've had to do. I've had to go, oh, it's cool to do this or that and da 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 da, but I have had some constraints on my budget and I have to go, okay, what's absolutely necessary? Let's do those things. You know, like I've talked to the kids, I've let them know that unless we absolutely have to use our car, we won't be doing it. We will be biking, and if they want to use the bus, they can use the bus, but that's not something we are going to be doing. As in my husband and I, we're going to choose to bike unless, you know, it's really impractical. So let me know, are you guys making any changes to your way of running your household in light of world events? You know, you're expanding your garden, stocking up the pantry, paying off debt. You know, what are you guys doing? Or nothing at all, just keep calm and carry on as normal. I look forward to hearing from you guys. It's been wonderful to catch up with you again, and I look forward to chatting next time. Bye for now.